With a really tender heart.
Oh, that's really, really sweet. And he's from New Orleans. Do you take him back to New Orleans a lot?
Yes, we went, we were there.
15 years ago, a little boy's life changed forever. Sandra Bullock and Jesse James welcomed him into their world, and since then, he has grown in ways that few could have imagined. What does he look like now? What are his unique traits as he becomes a teenager? The journey of this young boy is both touching and fascinating. Let's take a closer look at the boy who captured so many hearts and see how his story has unfolded. The life of a little man. Louis Bullock is the son of Sandra Bullock, one of Hollywood's most outstanding actresses. After his adoption into the home of a public figure, Louis spends most of his time in the spotlight. Though he's seen a few times on family hangouts, he remains a quiet young man, growing daily and shooting up in height. Regardless of how private he is, there are so many captivating details about Louis, as his mother, Sandra, never stops talking about him. At the time of his adoption, he was just a baby. Right now, Louis is growing into a kind boy who is learning to navigate each day as it comes. Straight out of Bullock's interview with The People, she told her interviewers Kelly and Ryan how funny, quirky, and cool her son has evolved into. There's one word she never stops associating with Louis. When a mother always talks about how wise her son is, best believe she's captivated by how well he understands life. She fondly likens him to Shecky Green, a Jewish Catskills comic. One fascinating detail about Louis is his love for food. Perhaps he dreams of being a chef. He is a foodie. Bullock says everything is food-based, as Louis enjoys mixing non-alcoholic drinks, boba tea, and deep-fried foods. You are right if you call Louis the unofficial personal assistant or manager to Sandra. She has acclaimed some of her wise decisions to Louis's counsel. He's been supporting and advising her through her career. Most of these events happened while he was way younger than 15 years. She describes him as her 78-year-old son because he's a little too smart for what she feels comfortable with. But Sandra said she wouldn't have it any other way. How did Sandra encounter Louis? Let's find out. The journey to motherhood. Sandra Bullock is an actress who has shown versatility through her seamless transition between comic, action, and drama genres. For over 3 decades, she's remained relevant in the entertainment world, serving blockbuster actions with her captivating beauty, even though she's currently 60 years old. The award-winning actress has a rich and fascinating record with her movie features. She has delivered outstanding performances on camera and shown excellent production skills, earning her millions over the years. It's no wonder she's one of Hollywood's most celebrated actresses. Sandra has earned an Oscar for Best Actress for the movie The Blind Side and Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, and Screen Actors Guild Awards for the same role. Bullock is not just an actress, she's a fit mother who proudly wears her title. Sandra gushes about the joy of parenting every moment she gets in her interviews. She's not just given Louis a home, she's made it her life's mission to create a safe space filled with love and memories, as every mother would for her kids. Kudos to Sandra for taking this exhilarating but fascinating journey. How did it start for Sandra Bullock? Why the thought of adopting? Did you know Sandra didn't initially think about adopting kids until a terrible disaster happened? While sharing her experiences with Today after she made the announcements public, Sandra said she had a sixth sense that Louis was in New Orleans, where Hurricane Katrina happened. When she looked at baby Louis, she knew he was the one. She told people, "He's just perfect. I can't even describe him any other way. It's like he's always been a part of our lives." In January 2010, Bullock announced her plan to adopt Louis. She said the moment she saw the little boy, she knew he was her baby. She could feel the connection the moment they handed Louis to her. Sandra describes that when he entered her arms and stared at her, she saw a spiritual bigness in her son. That was the moment she knew there was something special about Louis. Like every mother, she was drawn to him, and looking back, she's glad it all worked out. Sandra couldn't be more blessed with the support of her family throughout her journey of raising her not-so-little boy. Bullock grew up in a family where they were all girls, so Louis happened to be the crown prince in her home. Louis is not Sandra's only child. He also has a sister, Laila. She was adopted in 2015. At the time, Laila was 2 years old and in a foster care home in Louisiana. Isn't it surprising that Louis's name connects with Laila's location? Sandra confirmed Louis gave her the idea to take in his baby sister. Bullock does not have biological children, but that's no problem. She'll always be Louis's and Laila's mother. They are her children, the best a child is to a mother. She keeps talking about kids, excited to be part of their lives. As a mother, Bullock says there's always lots of love for her kids, even in moments where they disagree with her. When asked how she's handling watching them grow in her 2022 interviews with people, she said, "You can't spell in front of them anymore. You can't sidebar because they're listening. They're turning into people who have opinions. And sometimes they don't agree with mine. That bothers me. But I love them so much. I was just blessed with two pretty awesome kids. I do want to kill them occasionally, but I won't." Bullock protects her children by keeping them off the spotlight so that little is known about their lives. However, she never fails to detail their experiences in her interviews. She's content with her babies and calls them destiny because she believes they found their way to her at the right time. She's hopeful about their potential and the change they will create. Has it always been easy parenting for Bullock? As you know, the presence of children is a lot to handle. As a parent, Sandra has made huge sacrifices to care for Louis and his sister. Over the years, she has evolved into a mother who can do anything to give her kids the best life. One such adjustment was before Laila's adoption. The little girl had faced trauma in her early life, and this posed a challenge for Sandra as her soon-to-be mother. She had to brace herself by taking classes on parenting children from foster care so she could tend to and better support Laila. She took the step to learn about her daughter's unique abilities and what could trigger her trauma. Today, Laila is 13 years old with a vibrant spirit. Bullock says Laila is bold and a fighter for overcoming difficulties in her early life. She's hopeful that Laila will share that light with the world and bring change to others. Sandra Bullock prides herself on raising her kids. She's grateful for the privilege of watching them blossom over the years. She was more than willing to announce her break from movies and cameras in March 2022. Sandra said she was not retiring. However, she did not want to miss out on the early phase of Louis's and Laila's lives. Since then, Sandra has been more interested in making memories with her children than being in front of cameras. You might wonder why Jesse James seemed silent throughout Louis's life. Did he refuse the adoption of Louis after they've been preparing for his arrival? What could have happened to make Jesse distant from a son he wanted? The father Louis would never have. Jesse James is one individual who has made rounds for his interesting dating history and marriages. The native of Long Beach, California, James is most popular for his appearance on the Monster Garage set. He hosted the reality television series on Discovery Channel. He met Sandra on the Monster Garage set and immediately hit it off. They got married on July 16, 2005, and seemed to have a loving marriage. The Lovebirds began the adoption process for Louis 4 years before the adoption was announced. On March 2010, Sandra won an Oscar for Best Actress role. It seemed their lives were falling into place. Sadly, their happy moments didn't last long, nor did they hope to build a family together. It all came crashing down with a sudden rumor that Jesse was cheating on Sandra Bullock. Several alleged mistresses came forward to apologize to Bullock for their involvement with her husband. James didn't deny the accusations of him being unfaithful while married to the actress. His infidelity to America's sweetheart was one of the most highly publicized scandals in history. All of Jesse's skeletons were out of the cupboard for all to see. He didn't only embarrass himself, but caused the actress too much amidst their plans to have a family of their own. It was announced in March 2010 that Jesse had gone to a rehab facility to save his marriage with Bullock. This was the breaking point for Bullock, who couldn't take it anymore. She filed for divorce on April 2010, and the court honored their separation in June because of a conflict of personalities. They were married for 5 years before the unsettling crash of their marriage. Louis lived with them in January, but they kept his adoption process private. You might wonder where that left little Louis and their unfinished adoption process. Sandra went on to finalize the adoption as a single parent. Despite not being Louis's biological mother, Sandra knew how quickly newborns picked on the feelings of those around them, especially their mothers. She wore her big girl pants and focused on caring for Louis instead of grieving her broken marriage. Louis is not only a son to Bullock, but he also gives her a glimpse of hope in her dark days. He was a distraction from the scandalous marriage that had Sandra in the spotlight for a long time. Amidst the chaos, Louis gave his mom a new beginning, a reason to believe again. Years later, you can see it was the best choice. Sandra said she was much happier with where her life is now. On a scale of 1 to 10, she'd rate it a 9.2 because she feels perfect with Louis as her son. After the split from Bullock, Jessie immediately got into another relationship with Kat Von D, a tattoo artist. She starred in a reality series called LA Inc. on TLC. According to the reports, she had been friends with James for a long time, but their status changed after his divorce from Bullock. Kat was the only one who supported Jessie during the media backlash from his viral scandal. From a simple text to a dinner setup, Kat and Jessie turned lovers and planned a wedding. After spending 5 years in marriage with Bullock, Jessie didn't seem to trust her as much as he did his soon-to-be wife, Kat. In an interview, he said, "She's like 100% the first woman that I've ever trusted. 100% I've met my match with her." Jessie's disturbing childhood affected how quickly he accepted and trusted people, but it all changed when he met Kat. Many viewers said James never cared for Sandra's feelings as he rushed into another marriage shortly after his scandal and divorce. James seemed sure of his choices, saying it was time for him to move on from the painful separation. In his interview, he said, "I can't worry about her anymore. I think I've spent a good chunk of the last 5 or 6 years worrying only about her and what she thinks and what I should do." Jessie said he didn't want to feel controlled by his thoughts or the narrative of others. It was time for him to only worry about what brought him happiness, including marrying Kat. They started dating in August 2010 and got engaged in January 2011. A few months later, Jessie and Kat kept going on and off their relationship. They never reached the altar as they called off their engagement in September 2011. Kat later accused James of being unfaithful to her during their time together. She alleged he was with other women. Perhaps it was Jessie's bad boy persona and successful enterprises in the automotive industry that drew all these women to him. However, it seems Jessie has yet to build a high profile and be faithful in his relationships and marriages. Jessie has been trying to right his wrong, but it's been difficult. The scandal changed his life in ways he isn't proud of. It cost him a chance to be a father to Louis and damaged his reputation. He then took a step to fix his issues by accepting his fault in their divorce and his need for therapy. He continued his work at West Coast Choppers and his partnership with Austin Speed Shop. He spent his time reworking vintage cars and tutoring other mechanics with the skills he's acquired over the years. He also spends his time practicing blacksmithing. James said he took on the skill on his visit to Israel. However, he's enjoying this new hobby as he carefully considers his next career path. Although he seems uncertain, one thing is clear: Jessie is a handyman. He thrives in creating stuff despite enjoying the days of brand deals and licensing. Jessie says he only needs a helmet, a box full of welding rods, and something to create. He's not so much into licensing deals that bring in billions anymore. Jessie is grateful for the little things that give him peace. He also stepped back from his work to focus on his children. James's memoir and recent lifestyle show he's in a better place and ready to move on from his ugly past. It took a divorce from Bullock to put him in the right. What a costly price to pay. James said he was ready to escape the shadow and regain his life. After his moments in therapy, James said he had forgiven himself for the infidelity scandal with Bullock. Despite the media storm it created, James was prepared to quit hiding and face the world as a changed man. However, he hasn't learned the lessons he spoke about, as he is in the news again. Jessie married former adult film actress Bonnie Rotten in 2022 and had a son. However, a report from US Weekly showed there was trouble in paradise. Jessie is separating from Bonnie. His divorce rumor with the former adult film actress is just as messy as his breakup with Sandra Bullock. US Weekly reported that Bonnie filed for separation after 2 years of marriage. The couple decided to go their separate ways on the 5th of November 2024. Bonnie reported conflicts in personalities, as well as incidences of assault as grounds for her decision to file for divorce. She accused James of hitting and shoving her in the course of their marriage. She said Jessie's anger was uncontrollable, and she feared for her life. She filed for divorce to protect her son and requested a 300-meter restriction on Jessie from the court. Bonnie wasn't the only one who had things to say. Jessie also accused the adult film actress of assault and requested a 100-meter restriction on her. Before his marriage with Rotten, Jesse had been in 2 other relationships, making it a total of 5 marriages. The question on everyone's mind is why James seems unlucky with his marriage. A bold question would be to know his obsession with adult film actresses. Jesse James appears to be chasing a ghost from his past. James had 4 children with his first wife, Carla James, but they parted after 10 years of marriage. Before he met Sandra Bullock, he had just ended a 2-year marriage with his second wife, Janine Lindemulder. She was a stripper and adult film actress. They had a daughter together but divorced after speculations of him cheating while they were married. He then enters into his 3rd marriage with Sandra Bullock. After that ended, he went on with Kat Von D, but didn't marry her. After moving on from Kat, Jesse married Alexa DeHaria in March 2013, but separated after 7 years as they reported their lives were no longer heading in the same direction. Now he's ending things with Bonnie, his 5th marriage. Despite working to be a better father to his 4 kids, do you think Jesse keeps the hope of returning with Sandra Bullock? Or does he badly want to be in Louis's life? Whatever the future holds is undoubtedly not with Bullock or as a father to Louis. Sandra made it clear when the divorce ended that Louis had no memories of James as he had been absent from the boy's childhood. Looking at how Jesse James has led his life, perhaps his breakup with Bullock happened for a reason. His lifestyle is not one Bullock would have loved Louis to be associated with. However, that leaves us wondering how Sandra plans to fill in the space of a father in Louis's life. A better father for Louis. Bullock's romantic history is one for the books, as she's been through several hurdles in her journey to finding love. Sandra Bullock might not have remarried, but she was happily patterned. After the terrible divorce from her former husband, Bullock focused on her kids and paid attention to her love life. Perhaps Bullock saw the need for a father figure in their lives. That's when she met Brian Randall. Ryan Randall was a high-fashion editorial and advertising image photographer. He had the looks for the runway, so it's not surprising he picked a modeling career early on before photography. Ryan has been featured in Vogue Paris magazine. He's also campaigned for big brands like Saint Laurent and Hugo Boss. In 2015, Sandra hired a photographer for Louis' birthday party. When they set eyes on each other, Ryan and Sandra knew they were meant to be. They shared a fantastic relationship and made the most of their time together. On several occasions, they served the viewers a couple of goals from their appearances at events, including charity endeavors. Ryan was indeed her partner as they found a way to walk around her life as an actress, his career, and their children. Before meeting Sandra, Ryan had a quiet life off the public, but he took steps to build his relationship with the actress. He also shared a deep bond with her children, evident in their various outings and family trips. There is little about Brian's previous relationships, but he had a daughter, Skylar, whom Bullock grew fond of. Ryan had Skylar with his late girlfriend, Janine Staton. Sadly, Janine passed in 2004 after issues with substance addiction. Sandra's love story with Brian Randall was an exciting walkthrough of Hollywood's couple's history. She chose to share her life with Brian and was happy as she referred to him as a father to her children. She said, "We share 2 beautiful children, 3 children, his older daughter. It's the best thing ever." Everyone admired Ryan's commitment to Bullock and her family, with hopes that wedding bells would ring for the actress. They were deeply in love until his demise on August 2023. He had battled with ALS for 3 years before his passing. Till his demise, they shared a love and understanding that remained at the top of the books. She and the children cherish every moment with Brian and will forever live in his memories. Is Sandra Bullock married? Bullock seems to be keeping a low rater in her love life. Could it be that she is still mourning the demise of her lover? Although they weren't married, Bullock considered Brian the father of her kids. It might take a while to move on from such a loss. Perhaps she plans to resume her acting career, as she's been away for over 3 years. Whatever Sandra Bullock decides, we're sure it will always be in the interest of Louis and his sister Laila, as she's proven the length she's willing to go if it ensures their happiness. However, it doesn't change the doubts that clamp the thoughts of every mother. What could be the problem with Sandra? Does she fear losing her kids? Is it something with the adoption process? What could the beautiful actress be afraid of? A mother's worries. Being a white mother to Black children has not been the easiest for Sandra Bullock. She might not be the first to adopt, but it doesn't make it a walk in the park. Bullock discussed her worries with people about the racial injustice Black Americans face in the country. Sandra wished their skin colors matched. She did not experience such a childhood, but she fears her kids being out of harm's way in a country that does not protect all citizens as promised. The history of injustice to Black people living in America has been gruesome. Over the years, many have lost their lives in sad ways with evidence of police involvement. As any protective mother, Sandra says she prays for her kids and believes they won't face the harsh realities of the world they live in. Louis is growing up to see the world for himself, and the best Bullock can do is educate him on the truth. She wants him to be fully aware of the world and how injustice exists, despite calls for equity and fairness. She said she's been schooling Louis since he was 6 years old and has helped him process things. Sandra understands the injustice that goes on with Blacks in America. She said it's Laila's time to learn as she ages. She says the moment Louis comes of age and leaves her home, she knows she won't be with him everywhere. However, she believes she's done a good enough job to keep Louis out of danger and pave a path to a better future. Sandra Bullock has the same defense as mothers who have Black children in America. She's a strong advocate for justice and has not ceased to lend her voice when it needs to be heard. Sandra Bullock is a beautiful actress who has graced your television screen for decades. She has awards and a net worth to match her level of work. She's a proud mother who has taken a break to raise 2 Black children. Sandra might have been unlucky with love and marriage, but she's still living her best life because of Louis and his sister. What do you think about Sandra and her adopted son? Has she done enough to prepare Louis for the world out there? Let us know your opinion in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.